Go ahead, Sid.
Majority Leader, Mr. President, may I also follow you? Salamat po.
Senator
Mr.
Richard Gordon is recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I was going to give way to somebody who went ahead of me, which is Senator Zubiri. I have to say this because, like Pia Cayetano, uh, we have an autistic child in our family. One of my grandson is autistic, and I have friends who have autistic children as well who have to leave the country to go to another country because there's nothing for them here. And this is what I think we're talking about here, inclusion, Mr. President. That's what the bill is all about. It's a wonderful idea. But you include them without addressing their needs and recognize that they're differently able. If we do not prepare them with the teachers that can understand, can spot them, and can show that they can be assisted because there's a caring eye and a caring heart, we are not going to succeed here. It's important that we draft this bill knowing that it is not enough. I commend the sponsor for this effort, but I must also caution that it is not enough. It will never be enough. Consider the fact na kung kayo ay may anak at wala kayong kaya, na hindi nyo namamalayan na autistic yung anak nyo, o differently abled yung anak nyo, o kung ma-realize nyo na yung pala pag pumanaw kayo, hindi nyo alam kung saan dadamputin yung anak nyo. Makakababubuhay ba siya mag-isa? Di bali yung mga may mga kaya, makakapagtabi ng pera siguro, ilalagay sa foundation. Pero kung walang kaya, talaga walang kalaban-laban kagad ang mga taong ito. There is the humanitarian values all within our hearts and in our souls, Mr. President. That's what I think the Senate is all about. I think there's a lot of good hearts in this Senate, practically all, and I'd like to see that we walk our talk. So we have to first recognize na unang-una, marami pa tayong hahakbangan. I sympathize and I really commiserate and condole with Pia because, boy, I mean, that's heroic. What she revealed to us takes a lot of courage and a lot of, inspiration she gave us just by giving us that, sharing her experience. But on the other hand, Mr. President, we have to take a look at the real McCoy here, the real challenge. You will need speech therapists. You will need occupational therapists, Mr. President. You will need special needs teachers, applied behavioral analysis practitioners, learning support for teachers, Mr. President. We need to train our teachers to even recognize it in the classroom. Sometimes what is perceived to be untrained eye as makulit o mahina ang ulo, hindi ma-spot yun, Mr. President. And who's actually just a child who is differently able. The thing is, the operative word is differently able. God gave us all our own abilities. And we're lucky that what is normal to us may be abnormal to an autistic children, to an autistic child. Because an autistic child lives in a different world all by himself and really can grow like Mozart, like they say Steve Jobs, or for that matter, a lot of other folks that have been Albert Einstein. And of course, Michelangelo, they say, is autistic. But then they didn't even have the word for it during those days. They're just assuming now post facto. So this bill will put attention to these things that we do not really mind because we are not aware. In our ignorance, it's not bliss, Your Honor. In our ignorance, we fail to help those that can be helped and can be assisted. And it's a long journey. I commend Senator Gatchalian because this is another step. When we were mayors of Olongapo, my wife and I, we set up that special learning school. I thought it was never enough. I sometimes think that we pour in so many things in our educational system that it becomes really civil minimum. Now, we do not have enough to be able to concentrate on certain things that we can win. At bahala na si Batman, bigyan na natin lahat para lahat kahit na paano natutulungan. But the idea really is to train a new set of teachers in this day and age, which is perhaps affected by the food that we eat. That's why we have, or for that matter, people who get married late and they don't realize that maybe they will have some children that will have a problem, Mr. President. And that even the parents need help, Mr. President, because it's hell to really think about what the future brings to the children that they have raised. And I've seen love, Mr. President, like Pia. Tremendous love, unconditional love, love that encourages and inspires. And I've seen that with my daughter. I've seen that with many others who have this people who are not included as yet because we do not know what we're facing. This bill, therefore, I really robustly endorse. I don't want to cite all these great guys that have autism or have been differently able. You have, I forget the name of the lady who was blind, and they even had a movie about her. I'm becoming, as I go all in age, I become differently able. I suppose my memory slips. His names don't come as easily as they used to. Perhaps Senator Angara can help me with that. But
Helen
nonetheless,
Helen Keller, yeah.
Helen Keller, that's correct. That's the one. I knew you knew it. So you see, if we really concentrate on this bill, not just by passing it and then it's tapos na. It's never finished, Mr. President. And so I cannot say consummatum est when we pass this bill. In other words, we're just beginning. It's really a bill ab initio. We're just beginning. And the journey will go on. And we cannot afford to leave anybody behind because everybody or anybody that we leave behind diminishes us, defines our character, defines who we are. So again, Mr. President, I would be most privileged if I would be welcomed by Senator Gatchalian, my seatmate, as a co-author, but not for the sake of saying I did this bill or we did this bill or we co-sponsored this bill, but because it is important. It's a value. It's something that we must embrace. It's something that we must face. It is something that we must undertake and prepare for the long journey ahead. We have many crises in this country. Poverty, now really grinding poverty because of all this COVID, all these challenges of houses demolished, little properties, little comfort, creature comforts like blankets lost in floods, Mr. President. Dadagdag natin ito. So kailangan talaga, I don't want to say this again because this is the usual suspect, mabawasan ng korupsyon at ilagay natin ang pera sa tamang priority, Mr. President. Mr. President, thank you very much for the privilege.
Thank you.